Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tower of God New World. In today's video, I wanted to show you guys a new team that I'm using against Data Urek in Underground Laboratory. And this team is kind of crazy. So you guys might be confused saying, well, what's crazy about this team? White is barely doing any damage. Trauma Ray is doing the most damage. Well, when I exit back over here, I'm going to replay it for you guys. But this team literally got me to rank 22 and I dealt like 5 billion damage. This is the highest damage I ever dealt on my account. And I think that's actually pretty good because once you reach 5 billion damage, the next level is pretty much max. It's like 999 billion. That's the max level. So I pretty much reached like, the highest, not the highest damage cap. The highest damage cap is like 999, I think, trillion or billion. And below that, it's like 5 billion. So in order for you to, reach 999 billion or trillion, you have to get past that 5 billion damage. So I was finally able to reach that. And dude, this team comp is absolutely insane. And you guys can see for like the top players, I mean, not the top players, but like for the top um people who pretty much dealt the most damage in Underground Laboratory against Data Urek, they're all using White. And the reason why is because White, he can literally deal more damage than Kaiser. Now, of course, for the players who already, deal max damage against Data Urek with Kaiser, it doesn't really matter to them. But without, like, if you don't have your Kaiser built, or if you don't have a Kaiser and you have White maxed out, White is absolutely insane against Data Urek. Very, very crazy. He deals insane damage. Just a mind-blowing unit. So I'm gonna go and show you guys my record right here. So for my first attempt, it was around like 4.6 billion. I was just testing around to see, how White can perform against Data Urek. So I was using Princess Anak alongside with White. With Albelda, of course, we have Narate and Garam. So I do recommend you guys to have your Garam at least 4 orange stars. And the reason why is because at 4 orange stars, you'll be able to get that additional attack increase, which is like 100%. So you need Garam or 4 orange stars so that you can get her Revolution tier 4 and get that 100% attack boost for White. And plus, Narray is just an absolute beast. The fact that she's able to, provide additional attack and defense to allies. Plus, I'm pretty sure she can recover, says increases attack and defense of allies who recovered energy through soulmate by 50% for stacks. So she's able to increase White's attack by a ton thanks to her passive. And then over here, it says decrease physical resistance and magic resistance by 50%, which is insane. So not only is she decreasing Data Urek's defense, she's also decreasing his physical and magic resistance, which is very beneficial for White. And of course, Princess Anog, I use Princess Anog so that she can allow White to spam his ultimate, because his ultimate is where his true damage lies. So she is very, very good when it comes to, regenerating your main DPS unit. And of course, Albelda, she's extremely important. Always want to use Albelda against bosses because, the fact that she's able to increase attack and defense, and she's able to shred the enemy's defense by like 70% and attack by 70% is extremely broken. Like, lowering the enemy's attack can pretty much increase your team's overall survivability. So Albelda is just insane against bosses overall. So this was the team I was using, and I feel like this team is very, very good. If you don't have Trauma Ray, this team is definitely a great alternative. And for my second attempt right here, I pretty much I think I put Trauma Ray in this team. Yes, I did. So the reason why Trauma Ray is dealing more damage is because of the shield break. White, he's still dealing insane damage. It's just that for Trauma Ray, the fact that the frog is continuously, removing Data Urek's shield, I think that counts as damage. Because if you come over here, I think it's somewhere around his, like somewhere in his kit where he applies some sort of shield to himself. If we can actually find it here. So hopefully I can actually find it. It says Data Mazino creates a fan-shaped shockwave that deals 120% of his attack as damage. That's not it right there. Data Mazino releases an energy blast to deal 700% of his attack as damage to nearby enemies. Knocks them back, hits target to the edge of the battlefield. That's not it as well. I don't think they show his shield around here. Maybe it's his ultimate. There it is. the barrier. So the fact that he has a barrier, Trauma Ray is able to, get rid of that. And the fact that he's able to get rid of it, he pretty much deals like, insane damage because of that shield break. But White is still dealing crazy damage on the side, because if I were to use Trauma Ray by himself, I wouldn't be able to deal as much damage without White. So White is extremely important in this team. Just that Trauma Ray is just there to get rid of the shield, get rid of the barrier so that we can deal more damage. I'm going to go ahead and replay this for you guys. And man, oh man, White is absolutely crazy against Data Urek. He is an absolute menace. I'm pretty sure White is good against Gusting as well. I think Kuna Dawn, not really. I have no idea, but against Data Urek, White is definitely, the top best DPS unit against Data Urek because of the amount of damage he can deal with his ultimate. You guys can see we already reached that 2.6 billion damage. Look at that, 3.3 billion damage. It's like we're instantly building up that damage cap. Look at that, 3.8 billion. Every time White uses his ultimate, damage, damage, damage. Now, I don't know why the game doesn't count White dealing insane damage with his ultimate, because when we check the stats, it was just Trauma Ray dealing the most damage. I don't understand why the game doesn't count it. But you guys can see that shield break, right? And then as soon as White uses ultimate, boom, 4.4 billion damage, man. Absolutely insane. So if you guys are thinking about, a new team to use, this is definitely a top tier team for sure. You don't have to use Trauma Ray. Trauma Ray is not required. You can use Blanc, for example. Blanc is a great option. You can use Warun. Warun is also a great alternative. You also have Kunran. Kunran can also do shield break as well. There are so many other units you can use besides Trauma Ray. But for my account, this team right here is definitely top tier. Definitely top tier for me because of the shield break and the amount of damage White can deal. So we're gonna go ahead and exit out of that temp right there. You guys, hopefully, you guys can understand how that team works. Now I'm gonna do another attempt real quick, and this time we're gonna keep Trauma Ray in. I mean, actually, we're gonna take him out. We're gonna take out Trauma Ray, and this time I'm gonna go ahead and put in Kunran. So I can go ahead and show you guys that you don't really need Trauma Ray in order for, your team to deal crazy damage. The reason why I put Kunran in is because Kunran, he can break barriers, he can break shields. So he's very, very useful against Data Urek. Trauma Ray is way more uh valuable than Kunran. He's way more powerful, but Kunran still a decent option if you don't have a Trauma Ray build, or if you don't even have him. You guys can see 3.2 billion damage right here. This is literally just me using Kunran and White. Insane. So the thing is like Kunran, you have to rely on his ultimate. And you see, so the problem with Kunran is that if he doesn't pop that ultimate on time, then Data Urek is just going to one-shot White. So that's the main reason why Trauma Ray is obviously the best choice here, because he is consistently destroying that barrier, which is very, very good for White. Because if you don't destroy the barrier on time, Data Urek is just going to one-shot any of your allies, on like any of the characters on your team. He's just going to one-shot anybody. So you really have to be careful when it comes to that. So Kunran, he's very inconsistent because of the fact that you have to rely on his ultimate in order for him to get that shield break. So we're going to take out Kunran. We're going to go ahead and put in Hwarun. Now, we don't have Trauma Ray in, so it's going to be very hard for us to get rid of that barrier. But, I just want to show you guys, different alternatives if you don't have Trauma Ray. I'm pretty sure there are new players who are just now getting into the game, and they don't even have the opportunity to invest in Trauma Ray because he doesn't have a banner right now. So got 3.4 billion damage immediately. Plus, the good thing about Hwarun is the fact that since she has that increased crit rate from her passive, I think it's around like 40% additional crit rate for White, which is absolutely insane. You can do a lot more damage with Hwarun. And if you have her Revolution, I think tier 4, or I think it's a Revolution tier 5. If you have a Revolution, you'll be able to get that 100% attack increase. As you guys can see right here, it says increase attack of allies on the path created by guides guidance by 100%. So Orun, also a great alternative. It's just that the problem is it's really hard for me to get rid of that barrier without Chamare. So we're gonna put Chamare back in, and you guys are gonna see how crazy this performance is. Like it's just absolutely insane. Hopefully we can get over 5 billion damage, but let's go and play this. And if you don't have your white maxed out, let's say you have white with 0 copies and you have a Kaiser with 0 copies. Who's gonna perform better against Data Urek? In my opinion, I feel like it's still white, because the amount of damage he can do with his ultimate is just crazy. If you can just put him with Princess Anak, he can just spam his ultimate back to back, which is very, very good. So I will say white paired up with Garam as well. Garam, the fact that she has the special move Pierce increase, very, very good for white because he deals damage with his ultimate. So therefore, the special move Pierce increase is very beneficial for him. So we got 4.6 billion damage right here. Hopefully we can reach that 5 billion damage. I think it's possible. It's definitely possible. But you guys can see that the barrier barely pops up. It just gets immediately destroyed, which is very, very good. That's the main reason why Chamare is just a GOAT against Data Urek. But it seems like we are going to reach that 5 billion. There we go. So let me go ahead and pause it here real quick. You guys can see that it says 5 billion out of 999 billion. So therefore, the max damage is 999. And I'm pretty sure the max level is 701. So as soon as you reach 5 billion damage, I think the next tier after that, actually, no, there's no tier after that. It's just tier 50 is the final tier. So yeah, I'm pretty much at the max tier, tier 50. Steam is insane. So we got 5 point, I'll say 5.08 billion damage. Pretty good. Pretty good. Still ranked 22. But here are the stats. Got 108 billion damage coming from Chamare, and then for white, got like 6.8 billion damage. But this team comp overall against Data Urek is definitely the meta. And like I said, if you guys are thinking about building new teams, this one is definitely a great option for sure, because you can reach that max tier with ease. And of course, depending on how many copies you have on your character is very important. If you don't have a maxed out white, don't expect to reach, tier 50 with a 0 dupe white. You have to get more copies. But if you do have a maxed out white, I will say that you are definitely going to see that damage on your account 100%, depending on your stats or whatever. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Just want to show you guys that new team comp against Data Urek. Very, very powerful team overall. And if you're like a pay-to-win player, you don't even need to use Chamare, because white can easily get rid of that barrier. But if you are like a free-to-play player, or you are like a dolphin, then I think Chamare is definitely the go-to, because you can consistently get rid of that barrier, which allows white to deal more damage. So that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. And I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace.